Mary Holt watched her daughter, Lily, float around the kitchen like a small, focused tornado. For 3 days, the 17-year-old had been chopping, whisking, and baking for Mary's mother's birthday dinner. 23 guests. A full-course menu Lily designed herself. She'd even practiced the cake twice just to get the roses perfect. Mom. That afternoon, the house smelled like thyme, roasted garlic, and lemon zest. The dining room looked like a magazine photo, cloth napkins, gold ink name cards, fresh yellow flowers. At 5:50 p.m., Mary checked the time and smiled. 10 minutes, she said. Lily smoothed her hair and grinned back. Then Mary's phone buzzed. One message. From her father. Change of plans. We're doing dinner at Ridgewood. Adults only. No sorry. No explanation. Mary stared at the screen. Her stomach dropped like someone had kicked a chair out from under her heart. She walked into the hallway, fingers shaking, and hit call. Hey, her dad answered, cheerful. You get the message. You're not coming? Mary asked. Her voice came out flat. No, we just changed plans. Easier this way. We're already at the restaurant. Menu looks great, he said. Mary swallowed. Dad, Lily has been cooking for 3 days. You said we'd host it here. There's food for 23 people. He paused. Well, tell her not to take it personally. She can freeze the leftovers, right? Gotta go. Appetizers just came. The line clicked dead. Mary just stood there, staring at her phone. When she turned, Lily was in the doorway, flour on her apron, eyes wide. They are not coming, are they? Lily asked quietly. Mary didn't answer. Lily gently took the phone, opened the family group chat, and saw the photo. Her grandparents, her aunt, her cousins, all smiling around a Ridgewood table. Grandma raising a glass. Lily's fingers tightened around the phone. Oh, she whispered. Lily walked back into the kitchen without a sound. She stared at the 3-layer cake on the counter, lavender frosting, tiny white chocolate roses, candied flowers she'd dried by hand. We should just throw it all out, she said, almost too softly to hear. Mary stepped closer. No, she replied. Not this time. Lily let out a small laugh that wasn't really a laugh. It's just food, Mom. Mary shook her head. It's 3 days of work. It's you making a sugar-free tart for Grandma's neighbor even though she never RSVP'd. It's all the do you think they'll like this? Questions. Lily's mouth trembled. They didn't even try it, she said, staring at the untouched plates. Mary pressed her lips together, then grabbed her phone again. I'm calling Grandma, she said. Why? Lily whispered. It won't change anything. Mary's jaw set. Maybe not. But I'm done pretending this is normal. Her mother answered on the first ring. Hello, she said, bright and cheerful. Mom, Mary said, struggling to stay calm. Did you really just decide not to come? There was a short silence. Mary, don't start, her mother sighed. We just thought it would be easier at the restaurant. Lily cooked for you, Mary said. For everyone. She spent 3 days on this. It's sweet, her mother replied, but it's not real cooking. Not like a restaurant. Mary closed her eyes and hung up before she shouted. She called her sister next. Maybe she didn't know, Mary thought. But Sarah knew. Mary, Sarah said in that fake gentle voice she used when she wanted to sound reasonable, don't make this a big drama. Lily's being emotional. She's 17. She needs to learn not everything is about her. We didn't want to be her test subjects. The word hit like broken glass. Test subjects. Mary hung up again. In the kitchen, Lily was messing with the light dimmer, pretending everything was fine. Do you think it's too warm in here? She asked. Her voice was too bright. Then she saw Mary's face and went quiet. Lily set the phone down and finally let herself read everything. The group text. The photo at the restaurant. The happy faces. Her grandmother's hair done nicely for the night. Her grandfather laughing with a glass of wine. Her aunt leaning back in her chair like she'd never had a hard day in her life. Lily's shoulders slowly dropped. Her face didn't crumble all at once. It folded in, like she was trying to hold every piece of herself together from the inside. I really thought they'd at least taste it, she whispered. Mary opened her arms to hug her, but Lily stepped back. It's fine, Lily said quickly. I'll pack it up later. Maybe we can donate some of it. She grabbed a dish towel and started wiping a perfectly clean counter, over and over. Watching her, Mary felt something old and sharp rise in her chest. She remembered this feeling. Being the kid in the room whose work never counted. The one who was always too much, or not enough. And she knew, if she stayed quiet now, she'd be teaching Lily the same thing she had once learned. Your pain is less important than their comfort. Mary's mind slipped back, just for a moment, to when she was 12. Her younger sister, Sarah, had danced in a sparkly dress in the living room, spinning and laughing while their mother clapped like she was at a big show. Mary had sat on the rug with a half-taken-apart radio, grease on her fingers, excited to show how she'd fixed it. "Look, it sounds better now," she had said. Her dad had smiled politely. "That's nice, Mary. But don't get your hands dirty. It doesn't look ladylike." Later that year, their parents paid for Sarah's dance lessons a whole year in advance. When Mary asked if she could take a leatherworking class, they said, "We don't have the money for that." Years later, Mary built a small home goods shop with her husband. Her woodworking, her designs. Bills paid, rent covered. Her parents still called it your little craft thing. Meanwhile, when Sarah's apartment flooded last year, they called Mary first. She paid for the repairs. "No thank you. Just, we knew you'd help." Standing in her kitchen now, watching Lily fold that towel again and again, Mary thought, they never see the work. Only what they can take. But Lily was not like Mary had been. Lily didn't hide what she loved. She read restaurant reviews like novels. She watched cooking videos like other kids watched superhero movies. She had cried once because her sauce didn't have enough emotional structure. Mary still didn't know what that meant, but she'd wiped Lily's tears and tasted the sauce and said, "Well, it tastes like love." Lily's secret dream was to get into Harbour Culinary School, a fancy academy by the coast she checked online at least once a week. The family called it her cooking phase and a cute hobby. They'd say things like, "She's too sensitive for a real kitchen," and, "She'll grow out of it." She hadn't. So when Lily had said, "Mom, I want to cook the whole party this year. No caterer, no backup," Mary had been nervous, but proud. Lily had known the family might hurt her. She'd cooked anyway. And now they hadn't just skipped her dinner. Mary's phone buzzed again. Payment notification. Ridgewood Grill, $1,230.40. Business card ending in 4483. Mary stared. They had paid for their restaurant dinner with a business card she used for emergencies. The card they weren't supposed to have anymore. She let out a short, shocked laugh. They didn't just skip her, she thought. They made me pay for it. Mary's laugh turned hard around the edges. She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand and dialed her husband. "Hey," David answered. "Everything okay? Can you come home? Right now?" she asked. Her voice cracked on the last word. He didn't push. "On my way. Give me 20 minutes. When she hung up, Mary stared at the dining room. 23 carefully set places. Every chair in perfect order. Every plate waiting for a story that wasn't going to happen. "Fine," she muttered. "Then we'll write a new one." She opened her contacts and started calling. "Hi, Nora, it's Mary next door. My daughter cooked a full dinner for my mom's birthday and they didn't show up. There's food for 23 people. If you're free, we'd love to have you." Next call. "Hey, Becca, remember my daughter who made the Halloween cookies? She just got stood up by my whole family. Want dinner?" She called neighbors from the co-op, her cousin Sam who barely talked to the older generation anymore, a woman from the community garden who had only come over twice. She didn't sugarcoat anything. "My daughter cooked for a party." The guests ditched her. "There's a table full of food. If you can come, please do." It didn't feel like inviting. It felt like calling in reinforcements. People came. Faster than Mary expected. By the time David's car turned into the driveway, another car was already parked on the street. It was Nora, holding a bottle of red wine and a small bag. Her teenage daughter hopped out of the passenger seat. "We brought napkin rings," Nora said, a little breathless. "I thought. I don't know. Something pretty." Mary almost cried right there. Then a family of 5 from the food co-op showed up, kids already guessing what might be in the oven. Becca arrived next with her son and a bouquet of bright tulips from the gas station. "They only had these, but they felt right," she joked. And then a woman Mary didn't know stepped onto the front porch. Short hair, clay-stained boots, camera bag over her shoulder. "Hi," she said. I'm Eva. I write for the Mapletown Gazette food section. A friend texted me about what happened. Would you mind if I take some photos and maybe write about your daughter? Only if you both say yes. Mary stared at her, stunned. Behind her, Lily peeked from the kitchen. Her eyes were wide and a little scared, but hopeful. Mary swallowed and nodded. You can taste the food too, she said. Soon the quiet, empty dining room looked busy and alive again. Chairs scraped. Coats piled up on the sofa. Someone dragged in the patio chairs. Someone else offered to sit on the piano bench. Mom, what are you doing? Lily hissed as Mary shifted a coffee table into the hallway to make space. I'm saving your dignity, Mary said simply. Now help me find more chairs. Lily blinked, then gave a tiny, disbelieving smile. She didn't argue. She just moved. Together, they pulled out folding tables from the garage. Mary laid Lily's printed menus at each place. Before Lily ducked back into the kitchen to reheat the main course, Mary caught her by the shoulders. Listen to me, she said. You cooked. They walked. But tonight, we rise. You hear me? Lily stared at her for a long second, eyes shiny. Then she nodded. Okay, she whispered. In the kitchen, she paced in small nervous circles. Do I plate the tarts first or the salad? Is the sauce too thick? Should I warm the plates? David handed her a glass of water. Breathe, he said gently. Everyone out there came for you. The room went quiet when Lily stepped out with the first course. Mini butternut squash tarts with a small swirl of sage cream and crispy shallots. Her hands shook, but her plates did not. She went around the table, setting each dish down carefully. Wow, someone murmured. Another guest leaned in. Is that nutmeg? A kid sniffed the tart and said, It smells like a cozy blanket. People laughed. They took their first bites, and the sound in the room shifted, little surprised noises, soft oh my gosh, and this crust is unreal. Eva, the journalist, moved quietly, taking photos, jotting notes. She took a bite, then leaned toward Mary. You know, she whispered, she's better than half the chefs I've reviewed this year. Mary's throat tightened. Tell her, she whispered back. Course after course came out of the kitchen. Salad with citrus and toasted seeds, stuffed mushrooms with lemon couscous, tender herb-rolled chicken. Between each dish, people clapped, asked Lily questions, and told stories of meals they loved. Lily's cheeks glowed pink. She still looked nervous, but something new had appeared in her eyes, a small, growing light. After the main course, a man Mary barely knew, a cousin of someone from the co-op, stood up and raised his glass. I don't usually make speeches, he said, but I need to say this. The room went quiet. Lily froze near the doorway, a serving spoon in her hand. To Lily, he said, turning toward her. To the young woman who cooked not for applause, but for love. To the teenager who made a feast for people who didn't show up, and then fed a room full of others with more grace than most adults I know. To the chef of tonight, and, if there is any justice, the chef of the future. For a second, no one moved. Then every chair scraped back. Everyone stood and clapped. Some whistled. A little girl banged a spoon on the table. Lily's eyes filled with tears. She looked at her mother, like she was asking, Is this really for me? Mary nodded. Yes, she mouthed. Lily pressed her hands over her mouth and let herself cry and smile at the same time. Dessert was supposed to be the saddest part of the night, that untouched, wasted cake. Instead, it became the star. Someone had brought a store-bought sheet cake just in case, but the whole room insisted Lily cut her own. She carried the 3-tier cake like it was gold. The lavender frosting gleamed under the lights. The tiny piped flowers looked like something out of a storybook. It's beautiful, Nora whispered. You made this? Lily nodded shyly. Twice, Mary said. She practiced. When Lily sliced into it, the room went quiet again, just for a moment. Then the compliments started. This is insane. How is the sponge this soft? I want this for my wedding. The little girl from next door tugged on Lily's apron. Can you make my birthday cake? She asked. Lily laughed, a real, loud laugh that sounded like relief. Yeah, she said. I'd like that. Hours later, when the last guest left and the last plate was soaking in the sink, Lily collapsed on the couch. Her hair was a mess, her apron stained, but her eyes were bright. She leaned her head on Mary's shoulder and murmured, I think I finally cooked for the right people.
Mary kissed her hair. You always did, she whispered back.
Tonight, the right people finally showed up.
The house grew quiet at last. Half the cake was in the fridge.
The clock blinked past 2 a.m. Mary hummed softly as she rinsed the last glass, until 3 hard, angry bangs shook the front door.
Mary froze at the sink.
The knocking came again, 3 sharp, furious bangs that rattled the door frame.
She wiped her hands on a towel and peeked through the side window.
There they were, her parents on the porch in matching windbreakers, faces stiff with anger, and behind them her sister, Sarah, arms folded like she was auditioning for a courtroom drama.
Mary opened the door only halfway. What are you doing here? She asked flatly. Her father didn't wait.
You need to fix this, he snapped. Do you have any idea what you've done to our reputation? Her mother added, stepping inside without permission.
Sarah followed, sighing theatrically.
Mary stayed by the door, not welcoming them in but unable to stop them from pushing forward. Her mother waved her phone.
How dare you let that article be published? Everyone saw it.
You made us look like monsters. Mary crossed her arms. I didn't let anything happen. A journalist ate Lily's food and wrote the truth.
Her father jabbed a finger at her. You need to call them and take it down. Today.
Before Mary could answer, Sarah took a step forward, shoulders stiff, her voice too calm to be genuine. You need to tell the paper it was exaggerated, she said.
Tell them Lily misunderstood. Tell them it wasn't what it looked like. Mary raised an eyebrow. Did someone steal your phone and send that message from Ridgewood? Did someone else put the $1,230 charge on my card?
Did Lily imagine the photos of you eating steak while she stood in our kitchen?
Her mother's voice cracked. You embarrassed the whole family, she cried.
You humiliated us. They kept talking, faster and louder, blaming Mary for everything, from the article to the comments online.
Their words hit like sharp stones.
She's ungrateful. She's dramatic. She weaponized social media. And then, as Lily stood quietly in the hallway, barely awake, Mary's mother pointed at her. You should be ashamed of yourself, young lady.
That was when the last thread inside Mary snapped.
Mary stepped in front of Lily so fast she barely felt her own movement. Back away from my child, she said, her voice low and steady.
Her father scoffed.
Oh, please. This is a family matter. Before Mary could fire back, David stepped into the doorway carrying a stack of folding chairs he'd borrowed earlier. He saw the looks on their faces, saw Lily's wide, frightened eyes, and he immediately placed the chairs down. You all need to leave, he said calmly. Her father glared. You don't speak for this family. David didn't raise his voice.
This is our home, he said.
You showed up at 2 a.m. to yell at a 17-year-old girl who made you dinner. You don't get to hurt her twice. His tone held no anger, only certainty. The older three froze, unsure how to respond. Then Sarah muttered something about legal consequences and stormed out. Their parents followed her, slamming the door behind them. The silence that remained was heavy, but it wasn't painful this time.
It felt like something had finally been cut loose.
As Mary locked the door, Lily whispered, Mom, look. Across the street, their neighbor Jeff was standing on his lawn with his phone still recording. He gave Mary a sympathetic nod before heading inside. By sunrise, the video was everywhere in their small town's online groups. The title read, The grandparents from the teen chef story just showed up at her house and yelled at her. It had thousands of views and comments. People were outraged on Lily's behalf. Who yells at a kid who cooks? This family needs boundaries. That girl is a better chef than half the restaurants around here. Mary read the comments while stirring cocoa for Lily, who lay bundled on the couch, emotionally exhausted but safe. When Mary checked her phone again, she saw the final messages from her parents. You've ruined us. We'll take legal action. This is elder abuse. Mary snorted softly and blocked all 3 numbers, plus the family group chat. Then she removed the business card from all their accounts. That won't happen again, she muttered. Instead of fighting online, Mary posted just one sentence. We stand by the truth, and we're done protecting people who hurt our daughter. She expected backlash. What came instead was a wave of support. Old college friends messaged her. The food co-op shared the story. A small bistro downtown emailed Lily to offer her a summer position in their kitchen. And then the biggest surprise came, a comment from Harbor Culinary Academy, the school Lily dreamed about every week. We've heard of Lily Holt. We will be watching her journey closely. Lily stared at the comment for a long time, blinking in disbelief.
They saw me, she whispered, voice shaking.
Mary felt her chest tighten, but this time the feeling wasn't pain. It was something blooming.
Something like hope.
1 year later, Lily didn't just get into Harbour Culinary Academy, she earned a full scholarship. Mary cried harder reading the acceptance letter than she did at her own wedding. Lily already had private orders coming in, small dinner events, wedding tastings, seasonal boxes. People who had been at that rescue dinner still talked about her flavors like they were stories. She had started a small food blog, posting recipes, plating videos, and personal notes about learning to cook.
Her following grew steadily. Lily didn't reach out to Mary's parents. Neither did Mary.
The older generation moved 2 towns over for peace, but everyone knew it was because too many people had heard the truth. Invitations dried up. Their social circle thinned. They faded from the center of events they once controlled. Mary didn't celebrate their silence, but she didn't miss their noise. The next year, there was no birthday party for Mary's mother. Not for them, anyway. Instead, Mary, David, and Lily spent the evening in their backyard with a small fire pit. Lily grilled lamb skewers with herbs, made lemon potatoes, and baked a fig tart with fruit from a neighbor's tree.
No centerpieces. No schedules. No forced smiles. Just quiet laughter and warm plates.
At one point, Lily smirked and said, "At least I don't have to worry about how many people are coming."
Mary laughed.
"Or if they'll suddenly disappear."
David raised his glass of sparkling cider.
"No drama tonight."
They clinked their cups. Lily smiled softly.
"This might be the best birthday dinner I've ever cooked."
Mary believed her.
It wasn't fancy, but it was theirs, unclaimed, unjudged, untainted. As the sky dimmed and firelight flickered across their faces, Mary found herself thinking about the year before. About the hurt, the anger, the humiliation.
But she felt none of it now. Just quiet. Freedom. She didn't wonder whether her parents missed them. She didn't wonder whether they regretted anything.
Silence wasn't always punishment. It could be release.
And Lily? She didn't shrink in that silence. She grew.
She filled it with flavors, with ambition, with confidence.
She didn't ask for permission to dream anymore. She didn't ask to be included.
She built her own place, her own identity, her own voice. People who tried her food didn't just taste ingredients, they tasted who she was. And she was becoming someone strong.
Sometimes Mary still received messages.
"You were so brave for standing up for her. I wish someone had done that for me." She appreciated them, but she didn't feel brave. She felt finished. Finished with making herself small. Finished with apologizing for other people's behavior. Finished with teaching her daughter that peace meant staying quiet. Peace isn't swallowing pain, Mary thought. Peace is choosing who sits at your table.
She chose Lily. Lily, who healed through food.
Lily, who rebuilt herself through spices and stories. Lily, who turned rejection into direction. They hadn't just survived the worst day of her life, they had rewritten what family meant. And so the next time Lily stepped into a kitchen with her name printed on a tasting card, Mary felt something shift inside her.
Not fear. Not guilt. Pride. Pure and steady.
The kind that didn't need anyone else's approval. The kind that came from finally choosing the right people. Her daughter plated a dish, bright colors, careful details, a little piece of her heart on porcelain. And Mary realized they were exactly where they belonged.
No phone calls. No demands. No guilt.
Just 2 women, mother and daughter, standing in a life they had rebuilt with honesty, courage, and fire. And if anyone ever wondered whether Mary would do it all again, every dish, every chair, every fight, her answer was simple, yes. Because she didn't just stand up for Lily. She stood beside her. And she always would.